What's up, boys and girls? It's the Gypsy back at it again. Back at it with another fight, a good fight. I would say, but I think it's a little too early for one person to make this kind of choice and fight someone named by the name of Eubanks. I never really looked into Conor Benn. Just recently, I started watching Conor Benn, and Conor Benn's a good boxer. Conor Benn I think, can give a lot of problems for the welterweights, the elite welterweights like Errol Spence, and even I think he loses to Terence Crawford. But I would say Errol Spence, he probably gives him, trouble. I think with Terence Crawford, he gets knocked out, but he might give trouble to Errol Spence. He might even beat Errol Spence. I'm not saying 100%. Don't quote me on this. I'm not picking Conor Benn to beat Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a very cerebral boxer. I cannot give him. I cannot go against Errol Spence like I did last time. I'm not going against him, not yet. Except if it's Terence Crawford, 100% I'm going against him. But if it's Conor Benn, it's a 50. It's a, to me, it's a little 50-50 for me, because the kid can hit harder than, definitely hits harder than Errol Spence. And you know that because how he knocked out Van Heerden. And you look at it, how many rounds did Errol Spence go with Van Heerden? But then again, maybe if, Errol Spence was not, because Errol Spence doesn't really put a lot behind his punches. He just throws them. So that's another thing. So can't really say much about that. But even when he throws a lot, I've seen him when he throws a heavy. I think I'm still saying Conor Benn has more power. I don't know how much more, but he has more. But that's a different story. That's 147. This kid, for some reason, who wants to revenge his dad's losses against Eubank, you know, the great Eubank. You know what I mean? I like Eubank. I don't like him. Yeah, their personality kind of sucks. But the son's personality is better than the dad's personality. Dad's personality is a lot worse, honestly. But I like them as boxers. I like them. And whoever hates Eubank, the Eubank boxers, the Eubank father and son duo, they're not fans of boxing. I can tell you that much, because those guys, they deserve respect. They might be clowns out the ring, whatever people think of them, they're pretty good. Either way, you have to respect them. I always liked Chris Eubank, honestly. To be frank, he's cocky, yeah, but it's arrogance that I like. You know what I mean? It's not. His dad was the one that I was like, it's kind of weird, kind of like in a way homo-issues. But anyways, that's a different story. It's not about who you like or you dislike here. It's about who has the abilities to win, who doesn't have the abilities to win, who is actually better. And I'll tell you something, man. Chris Eubank, um, in this fight, he's going to be drained, of course. He's going to go below 160 to 157. Naturally, he belongs in 160. He does not belong in 168, but he can swing with the 168ers. That's for sure. And honestly, when I saw him, I just recently, just right now, I watched him fight Groves, bro. I had people, these commentators, the British people, truly hate the fuck out of Eubanks, bro. I thought, looking at it, I looked at the fight. I think Eubanks beat Groves by 1 or 2 rounds. They were what they were doing was like, they robbed Eubanks of the victory. Unlike Billy Joe Saunders, who actually beat him, yet again close fight by 1 round, Groves did not beat Eubanks, and that's why he was nothing. There was nothing left in Groves to fight Caleb Smith, because he beat, even though he didn't have no bruises and shit like that, because he has a chin on him. Groves does have a chin on him. He got fucked up by Eubanks. That's true. That's true. Yeah, Eubanks got cut in that third round, And you always say, oh, he got fucked up. No, no, he just got cut off of a headbutt, or even if, let's say, it was a punch, he got cut. That happens. Tyson Fury got cut by Otto Wallin. So what? Fury won majority of the rounds. I'm not saying Eubank won majority of the rounds against Grove. No, he didn't. He won. Yeah, he did win majority of the rounds, but not like a lot. You know, Tyson Fury won like 9-3 ish against Otto Wallin. Eubank won maybe three. Oh, not three. My bad. 1 or 2 rounds above him. Some rounds were close. I have the scorecards when I looked at the Grove fight. I have it right here again. I never rewatched actually the Grove versus Eubank fight. I just only watched it once, and you know the commentators can sway your mind. Oh, the jab of Groves is keeping him away, but realistically, Groves was getting countered by fucking um, left hooks from fucking Eubank every now and then, and he barely landed a few shots every single round. Count how many jabs that Groves lands in every single round. It comes down to like 3, 4 maybe, and then he gets pummeled in the middle of the ring, in the behind the ropes, and he grabs hold for dear life because he knows he can't fight in close quarters behind the ropes against Eubank. And at least Billy Joe Saunders fought, and then occasionally here and there he would grab hold, but he didn't grab hold as much, bro. That he should have been deducted a point for grabbing as much as he did, and the illegal shots behind the head whenever he grabbed a Eubanks in the fifth round, particularly. He started off doing it in the fifth round, was downright disrespectful, downright just dirty tactics, very dirty tactics from Grove. I used to like Groves, to be honest with you, but I haven't seen Grove fight for a long time, and this shows you how Grove is a very dirty fighter, man. Very dirty fighter. Eubank, on the other hand, is not a dirty fighter. He might be sluggish. He throws sloppy shots sometimes, but he at the end of the day he's pretty accurate with his sloppy shots. I mean, he can catch you and he puts you out or drops you. It's one of those two reasons. Not you particularly, the ones listening, but you know what I'm saying. It's comedy a little bit. You gotta add some comedy. You know what I mean? But you know, whoever he's fighting. So when I watched the fight, I gave the first round to Groves. I gave the second round to Groves. I gave the third round to Eubanks. That's the round he got cut too. And then I gave the fourth round to Eubanks as well. It was a closer round, but Eubanks pulled it off near the end. I mean, they both had their points in the fight, but Eubanks landed close shots. I mean, he started off getting him with the left hook and then putting him into the ropes and catching him with uppercuts and all kinds of stuff. But apparently people miss that because they're looking at the boxing skills of Grove, because, you know, Grove is such a phenomenal boxer and he's only landing a very few amounts of jabs on where, you know, meanwhile he's getting countered with those jabs, you know what I mean? Some of them are getting countered and then he's getting backed up. And I'm talking about 3, 4 round fucking jabs, bro. And out of the 3, 4 he lands, that's the max. He gets left hooked to the ropes and gets pummeled. And ask yourself why Groves had a shoulder problem after the 12th round, where he hit it very well. His composure is very well. Groves' composure is very well. He hides his pain and his thing, and you need that shit as a boxer. I'm not downing that. It's actually a good thing. It's just that Groves got fucked up in that fight, and he didn't show it. He didn't show it that he got fucked up in that fight. That's amazing. Anyways, so yeah, I don't blame for Eubanks to think that he won that fight, because he definitely did win that fight in my eyes. The third round was the round that I also, yeah. So the first round I gave it to Groves. Second round I gave it to Groves as well, and the third round I gave it to Eubanks, close round. Fourth round, actually no, not third round was not close. Third round was clear. The fourth round was close, and I gave it to Eubanks. The fifth round, I also gave it to Eubanks, but at that point, Groves was starting to fight dirty because it wasn't working out for him. He was grabbing. When he was grabbing, he was hitting him in the behind the head blatantly, like 4 or 5, bro. That was just ridiculous. And the ref didn't even say anything because you know why? They hate Eubanks. That's why. Anyways, round 7, I gave it to my bad. Round 6, I gave it to Groves. Round 7, these are clear ones. There's no like this way, that way. Round 6, definitely Groves. Round 7, I gave it to Eubank. Round 8, I gave it to Groves. Round 9 was a close one, but the better shots were landed by Eubanks, so I gave it to Eubanks. And round 10, I gave it to Eubanks. It was sloppy. I watched it 3 times, but it was a Eubanks round because Eubanks landed better. It was the entire night, the entire fight, Eubanks is the one pushing, pressing, Groves on top of which, while he's landing. So even if they land the same amount of punches, same eye-catching punches, whoever is backing the other guy up, even though he's sloppy, he's tired a little bit, doesn't mean anything. He's the one winning that round. Don't mean shit. Anyways, round 10 was Eubanks. Round 11 was Groves. And round 12 was clearly, emphatically Eubanks, which ultimately leads to how many rounds here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds to 5. Eubanks won that fight by 1 round, bro. Watching it after having seen it for years, Eubanks had won the fight between Groves. And now going back to Conor Benn, the problem with this fight is Conor Benn has similar power to Eubanks, which is crazy. He has a lot of power, man. This kid has power. But the problem with him is his chin. Conor Benn does not have the chin that Eubanks has. He's been dropped in 147. Eubank has never been dropped in 160, neither in 168. With heavier punches. Who's he even dealt with? What kind of heavy puncher has Conor Benn dealt with in the 147? None that I know of. If you know one, let me know. You can comment below. Let me know who's a heavy puncher that he's dealt with. None. Conor Benn has not dealt with any heavy punchers, and he's been dropped once. What, Algieri? Van Heerden? No, none of those guys. So, but Eubanks has dealt with Groves, a heavy puncher that I know of, and he's been clipped by Groves decently, on point, on dot. Who else that Eubanks has dealt with? As Arthur Abraham, even though Arthur Abraham was fucking, long gone before he fought him. Who else? Not Matt Korobov, that's for sure. It's a heavy puncher that he's dealt with. And definitely not Billy Joe Saunders. There could have been a few others that he's dealt with. I can't think of them right now, but I'm pretty sure there's 2 at least 2 that I can think of off the top of my head. And I'm pretty sure there's more, a few more, I think, because this guy, I've seen him spar fucking heavyweights, and he's beating the shit out of heavyweights. Eubank, that is. Eubank Jr., that every most Brits hate. That motherfucker is good. You know what I mean? And yes, when he says he needs 60% to beat Conor Benn, I don't blame him. I think he does. 100% would be even better for him because 100% would be a more comfortable fight for him because it's going to be difficult. It's not like Conor Benn is not going to hit Eubank. He is, but it's not going to phase him as much. It might be, but one thing Conor Benn don't want to do is get in a pocket with Eubanks. That's one thing that he wouldn't want to do, and that's what's going to happen in the fight. He's going to get in the pocket with Eubanks, and they're gonna trade blows, and Eubanks enjoys that kind of shit, and it's not gonna end well for Conor Benn because as good as Conor Benn hits, he hasn't been hit by his own punching power, and Eubank hits as hard, if not harder, than Conor Benn. And you know, I can even argue and say that his stamina might be even better than Conor Benn because he can take shots from heavier punchers and still keep coming. So ultimately, I think this is not going to be like a Triple G Kilbrook 5 round finish. No, I feel like it's going to go a little bit further than 5 rounds, and I think he will stop him late in round 8 and above, somewhere 8 and above. I can't speak exactly because I'm not Nostradamus, but I'm gonna lean and say anything above 8, he's knocking him out in that area because that's Conor Benn's chin ain't that great. The only problem I have with Eubanks is do not imitate Roy Jones Jr., bro. He was imitating Roy Jones Jr. against Liam Williams, and he without a question, he won that fight. He dropped him 4 times, won 7 rounds out of the 12, on top of which dropped him 4 times and won 7 rounds out of the top. That there is no chance in hell that anybody would have thought Liam Williams won that fight. And the reason why he lost those rounds, he could have finished Liam Williams. The reason why he did not win, he didn't finish Liam Williams, is because he chose not to, like he did against Morrison, and I think maybe that's the only 2 fights that I know of that he could have finished. And he chose not to finish because he wanted to fucking learn his craft from Roy Jones Jr. You know what I mean? And you can't imitate the guy, man. Don't try to imitate. Do you get a few tricks that you can add to your game that Roy does that you see works for you? Other than that, do not imitate Roy Jones. That was just every man has his own style. Do not imitate, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're gonna imitate, I mean, he does have what it takes to imitate Roy, but he can't fully imitate Roy. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why he started losing. He had only 1 round that he lost in the first, I would say, first 7 rounds. He only lost 1 round, and that was a sixth. And then he started imitating Roy Jones Jr. even more. He was imitating from the beginning, but he caught it. He caught Liam Williams by imitating him. You know, what I mean, he caught him coming in, dropped him numerous times with different type of shots. I think one of them was he got him with the right hook, or was it the left hook? I can't even fucking remember because he dropped him 4 times, bro. You know what I mean? I think the first round, pretty fast drop. I didn't even fucking look at it. I didn't even see what shot was it. I just know that he came in, Liam Williams came in, and he just stepped back and he had the shot opportunity, having the reach advantage over Liam Williams on top of which. But then Liam Williams caught on to what he was doing and caught on to the movement that he was the imitations that he was Roy that he was doing, and he started winning rounds after 7. He started winning 8. He had he won the 6th, and then he won the 8th, and then he won the 9th, and then I think after maybe was it 10, and then he won the 10th, and I think 11 this is where he dropped him again, Eubanks, and then 12 Eubanks lost that round, but he was showboating being stupid. Anyways, so I say for Eubanks, you should take this fight seriously. If he loses to this guy because he's being stupid like he did against, because he's going to be drained, so he's going to be 60% like he says, you should take this fight seriously. You shouldn't bullshit. If he bullshits around, Conor Benn might have a shot in beating him. If he bullshits around, Conor Benn might have a shot at beating him. If he treats this fight like he treated like Liam Wilson, he will lose. He will definitely lose because the British public, if he hasn't noticed, is in favoring him. And they were actually giving rounds that Liam Williams wasn't winning to Liam Williams. Eubanks winning it. They were giving it to Leon Williams, and they did the same thing with Grove, and then they probably did the same thing with Billy Joe Saunders. Even though that fight was close, I think he made a unanimous decision. It wasn't a split decision, or was it? No, it was split decision. That was actually fair. That was probably fair. So yeah, but with with Groves, they shitted on him. Groves, they really shitted on Groves. He won that fight. Unlike Billy Joe Saunders, he lost. He won the Grove fight. Anyways, so yeah, he shouldn't bullshit. He should fight the way he normally fights, and maybe do 1 or 2 rounds or maybe 3 rounds out of 12 rounds. Do with the Roy tactics, the Roy skill, the movements and stuff. But do not continue to do that if it ain't working out for you. If you're getting jabbed and you're getting touched up more and often, you know what I mean? Because this is not the guy to do that to. This is more of a challenging fight than Leon Williams. Not as challenging as Grove, but it's more of a fight. Yeah, you can't afford to fuck around. But who knows? Maybe Conor Benn's chin is even worse than I think it is. You know what I mean? So he might be able to do that and still win. But if I were him, I'll take it seriously. Never underestimate your opponent, and he should have this in the bag. And if he loses to this dude, he should fucking retire. There's no reason why he should lose to this dude, based on his abilities and based on what he has. Anyways, this is the Gypsy. It's been nice talking to y'all. My video's up 21 minutes and I'm out.